Welcome back, boys and girls, to Twin J Racing. We're in our favorite studio, as you can see this morning, where we get a lot of recording done. I don't know why, but it works out. I know why, but we're not going to get into that today. Anyways, the video that I put together that you're about to see is some old footage, and it's okay-ish footage. I wish I would have taken more, but as we have learned, I am not the greatest content creator. And we were doing stuff, and I didn't really video. We were just trying to get it done. We were setting up the rear end in my 77 F250, the Dana 60, which I'm not fans of, but this is a bunch of just random videos put together, kind of. In the long and short, there's one kind of in the middle that kind of explains what's going on, but that's about it. There's a couple that were shot before that one, like making my setup bearing for the carrier, and then another one explaining what I found when we took it apart in the shims and just everything everywhere. And I learned a lot of stuff after I recorded some of these videos, like there is no spacer, there's just pinion shims. Like on my 10 bolts, which I've done a lot of those, there's a spacer and then you shim it to get rid of the crush sleeve, so that way it doesn't crush itself under torque. Well, Dana, in their infinite wisdom, never ran a crush sleeve. Well, they did on some instances back in the day, but everything new, no crush sleeve. And you got spacers, but the crush sleeve is actually built into the pinion. As you will see, it's a taller spacer. And I didn't know that, so I watched a lot of videos and learned. So my commentary on some of this, yeah, I didn't know. But you learn, and that's the important thing, you learn. And there's a lot of things I learned on this Dana that I don't know if they do it good or bad. It's definitely different than anything else I'm used to. My brother, Gears by Crew W, I believe is their name this week. Or it's the Gear Man, or it's the whatever, but I appreciate all of his help. He helped me set it up. He was as aggravated as I was with it, because you got this shim, that shim, and they go behind races, and bearings go on the carrier, or they go between the bearing and the carrier, which is all foreign stuff to us, but we got it done. I've been driving the truck, as you guys know. Hopefully you've seen the video that I did on the truck, and I've been driving it a little bit, got the gear broken. It's just a fun truck to drive, no whining in the rear end. But as we took the brake drums and stuff off the rear, because it's a floater, I didn't have to do that right away. We found the wheel seal on the passenger side was leaking. You'll see pictures of the drums just full of oil, and then a quick video of pressing the old studs out, and then you press the new drums onto the hub. Old school, not like the new ones where they just slide on and off. But I didn't really take a lot of video of any of the brake stuff, and I still got a lot of work to do. I actually need to adjust the brakes in the rear. I'm not happy with them. I got brake hose to change in the rear. There's a whole laundry list of stuff that needs to be done to that truck before next year. And pulling the motor and sealing it or rebuilding it or whatever we're going to do, I don't know. But that's a whole nother subject. Today is about this video. We rebuild the rear end. Like I said, there's not a lot of footage. We have concluded that I am not a great content creator, but this was also shot, I believe, in March or April. So this was before I had a channel, and this when I was planning on having a channel, but I'm still not great at videoing, because I have nothing from this last weekend that I should have videoed all kinds of stuff, but I just get into it and I don't think to video. So without any further ado, this is some little snippets and some pictures of the rear end when we went through it on my 77 F250, and big thanks to my brother, like I said. Gears by Crew W, I believe is his name. I'm going to hopefully post a picture in here somewhere of his logo. I have it. I have to find it, and then we'll put it at the end also. So please enjoy. Please go watch some other videos. Share, like, subscribe, and have a good one, guys and girls. If you've ever messed around with any Dana axle, per my understanding, I know the 60 and the 44 for sure. I'm not sure about the 30 and the 35 or the heavier ones, but they like to put the shims between the bearing and the carrier. So you should know what this is. This is a setup bearing. Of course, it's going to slow down. but you use this to set up your rear end instead of putting on and pulling your bearing off all the time. Little time with a grinding wheel and a flap disc, well, a die grinder and a flap disc, to clearance it to make it all work, so that way you can set up your rear end without destroying your bearings. Well, this carrier is already destroyed, and one bearing was already screwed up and ate up my shims. How not to do a rear end? I don't know who did this, but I guess they're doing the solid spacer and shims, but they definitely didn't get it right. These shims are all beat to death. Like the pinion was loose. There's the pinion. There was no solid spacer. There's just these shims, so I don't think there was enough shim in there to hold it in place. There's this shim that went behind the bearing. I don't know if that's it, but it's beat to death. So I don't know what happened in here. This thing literally destroyed itself. That explains probably why the carrier bearing was destroyed, because this was moving around screwing that up, and that's probably why the pinion or the pin came out in the carrier, would be my assumption. But I'm not sure we're going to get put back together right though. What's up, everyone? We're down here at the car club today working on my 77 Ford. We're going to do the rear end in it today, put it back together. The old one, the carrier pin decided to come loose, which hit the pinion, and when I tore it apart, it's just, the thing was destroyed. I believe whoever set the rear end up set it up wrong, because it had a different gear in it, had a newer gear and stuff in it, and the pinion shims that hold the preload were just beat to death. They were all screwed up. Well, I can show them here. The carrier, the one side bearing was all screwed up. It was actually spinning and destroyed some shims and stuff on it. Just all kinds of stuff. So here's the carrier. As you can see, the pin come out and beat up, mainly hit the pinion, but it'll slide back and forth. And then as we were messing with it today, we found that there is a spider gear side shim, but the old bearing would just slide on and off. Not on this side, on the other side. The other side, you can see where it was spun, but it beat up my shims and everything on that side. This side was okay, so we have the shims there, but the ring gear is okay, but the old pinion took some hits. So it's pretty much junk. Well, not pretty much, it is junk, but we got a new gear. And then I got a Yukon limited slip. They list it as a locker, but it's a limited slip. That's what's going in it. Sorry, well, it should have been a little better prepared, but Yukon. I'll get more video of it when it's out, but we're not even there. I'm making a setup race so we can slide it in and out, because with this Dana 60 the shims go behind here for the pinion instead of between here. I'm not going to do a super in-depth, there's my installation kit for all this new stuff, but I'm not going to go into an in-depth video on this. There's a lot better videos than I'll ever produce for how to do this. So just kind of a quick overview of what we're doing today on this truck. Not going to get into depth on this right now, but it's what we're dealing with. And like I said, the rear end was hurt in it, and it leaks a lot of oil, but that's a whole nother subject. Well, after multiple attempts with the setup bearings and everything, with this being a Dana 60, we finally got it pretty good. You can see a little bit of the pattern there. You can also see where it hits in the center there, so it's looking pretty good. Got to pull it all apart and take the setup bearings and everything out and put the actual bearings in on the pinion and on the carrier and put everything back together and see where it lands. We're at like 8 backlash, 8 to 9, so that's pretty good. We're just getting there. And well, that's gasket from the roll lock, but we'll get that cleaned up too. But a lot of work, a lot of aggravation, a lot of math to get it to where it's at. But we're getting in the right direction and hopefully getting this truck back on the road. Gotta love old school drums, changing the drums. Got to take all the wheel studs out, which we have done here. And then the drum goes on, which these are the old ones. And put all the studs back in. That's what we're getting ready to do today, put all the studs back in. But, you know, it's one of them things, only older vehicles are that way. The newer ones, they just slide on and off from the front like the newer vehicles, but not that lucky on this one. Newer vehicles have discs. They don't even have drums anymore. But we're putting this back together. The drum brakes, I know, people don't even know what drum brakes are. Drum brakes on my 77 F250. Trying to get back on the road after getting the rear end rebuilt, and this one keeps getting put off, so we're working on it today. Unfortunately, there won't be much footage today because I didn't bring my cameras. Dumb me. Thanks for watching the video, boys and girls. I appreciate it. Like I said, it wasn't everything I wanted it to be. We did take a lot of footage. We even talked about it afterwards, and I apologize for that. You just saw the brake drum that was full of oil, and then the brakes that were completely coated in the pictures. And then the other side, the brake drum was so thin, it got all new stuff. New drums, new shoes. The hardware was new in there, so we reused that. And the wheel cylinders were good, so I don't believe we changed the wheel cylinders. No, we didn't change the wheel cylinders. But we're going to change the brake hose on the back there, which I talked about earlier, and some other stuff. But anyways, the long and short of it is, please like, share, subscribe. Thank you for watching. Please go watch another video. Even if you watched it before, please go watch it again. If you have a favorite, go watch it again. I'm going to keep pumping out content. I truly hope you're enjoying it. I've been getting a lot of positive feedback on it. So I truly hope what I'm doing is good. So leave me a comment. Tell me what you think. And we'll catch you in the next one.